Last weekend was probably the most explosive in UK domestic politics since Keir Starmer came to power in July 2024. After months of speculation that he might mount a leadership challenge to the Prime Minister, on Saturday, Greater Manchester Mayor Andy Burnham requested permission from Labour's National Executive Committee to run as an MP in the upcoming Gorton and Denton by-election, before being blocked by the 10-person committee on Sunday. This wasn't only shocking because Labour had just blocked the candidacy of one of its most popular figures, who would stand a far better chance than any other Labour candidate of winning the Gorton and Denton by-election, but also because of the risk of igniting a Labour civil war between allies of the Prime Minister and allies of Burnham. So, in this video, we're going to explain how we got here, why Starmer was so worried about Burnham becoming an MP, and why we could be on the brink of an all-out Labour civil war. We're in the process of clearing out our store, so we're running a fire sale right now. Using code FIRESALE, you can get 40% off all of our posters, notebooks, calendars, magnets, keyrings, Brexit, the colouring book, the lot. The offer ends very soon, so click the link in the description for more. We'll start with some background on Andy Burnham. Burnham is a well-known member of Labour's soft left, and was Health Secretary and Chief Secretary to the Treasury in the early 2000s. He's even run twice, unsuccessfully, for the Labour leadership, in 2010 and again in 2015. In 2017, he was elected for the first time as Mayor of Greater Manchester. Then, in 2021, was re-elected as Mayor with 67.3% of the vote, and again in 2024 with 63.4%. Levels of support virtually unseen anywhere else in British politics. Throughout his term, Burnham has been credited with reducing homelessness in the city, with some reports citing a 42% reduction, and improving transport via the B network, including taking over failing bus services and franchising them, a UK first. At the same time, though, Burnham has become a vocal critic of Starmer's Labour leadership, claiming that there's a climate of fear within Labour and that the government has a reluctance to show courage or conviction. Offering an alternative vision for the country, Burnham has spoken in favour of proportional representation, the further nationalisation of key industries, and the introduction of a wealth tax. This has won Burnham's support within the Labour Party, and he consistently ranks as one of its most popular figures. YouGov's political favourability poll from October has Burnham as the most popular Labour politician, with a net approval rating of +2, and IPSOS polling from December showed Burnham had a 13-point lead on Starmer in a head-to-head poll of who would make a better PM. As such, in recent months, there's been growing calls within Labour for Burnham to return to Westminster and replace Starmer as leader, given his dire approval ratings. However, the first step was for Burnham to win a seat and become a Labour MP. For months, journalists were watching the constituency of Gorton and Denton, a Manchester constituency that was held by Labour MP Andrew Gwynne, who was suspended in February last year for making disparaging remarks about constituents. It was assumed that, at some point, Gwynne would step down, triggering a by-election. This is what happened on Thursday. Gwynne announced he would retire, thereby vacating his seat and providing Andy Burnham a pretty clean route to Parliament. On Saturday, Burnham announced he was seeking permission from Labour's NEC to be the party's candidate. The NEC has a rule that any sitting mayors must seek express permission to run in a by-election, due to the complications involved in holding a new mayoral election. In a meeting on Sunday, the NEC, in a 10-person vote composed mostly of Starmer loyalists and Starmer himself, voted 8-1 to block Burnham's candidacy, with the chair, Shabana Mahmood, abstaining. The only vote in favour of Burnham's candidacy was Lucy Powell, Labour's deputy leader and a fellow Mancunian politician and Burnham ally. Officially, the NEC gave two reasons for doing so. Firstly, if Burnham was running in the by-election, he'd have to stand down as Manchester Mayor, launching a mayoral by-election. Labour argued this would be costly to the taxpayer. The last mayoral election cost £4.7 million, and that it would require the party to split their resources across two separate by-elections. Second, at a time when Reform are outpolling Labour by 10 points nationally, Labour were concerned that Reform could win the Manchester mayoral by-election, and as such, it would be better to keep Burnham in place. Of course, the unofficial reason for blocking Burnham is because Starmer didn't want to provide his main leadership rival a route to challenge him. But this will probably just boost Burnham's popularity even further. Polling by the New Statesman shows a majority of Manchester voters think Labour were wrong to block Burnham's bid, while only 8% thought Labour were right. Even worse, though, was that 53% agree that petty personal or factional politics were behind the decision to block Burnham. 50% said they would interpret the decision as a sign of weakness from Labour, with just 5% saying it shows strength, and 33% said the party blocking Burnham would actually make them less likely to vote Labour. So, was this a smart move by Starmer, or would it just ignite more factional infighting? Well, in many ways, Starmer was stuck between a rock and a hard place. New Statesman polling suggests that, without Burnham, Labour are on track to lose Gorton and Denton to Reform by a 6-point margin. With Burnham, however, the gap closes, and the poll suggests Labour would beat Reform by 4 points. But while allowing Burnham to stand would help Labour win the Westminster by-election, it would potentially risk losing Labour's Manchester mayoralty, which is, in many ways, a more important position for the party to hold. However, electoral politics aren't the only consideration here. Blocking Burnham will cause deep frustration within the party, with many members seeing it as a stitch-up. To be honest, it's pretty difficult to see this as anything but Starmer loyalists exerting a chokehold over the party, and even some high-profile Labour figures, including Cabinet member Ed Miliband, London Mayor Sadiq Khan, and former Deputy Leader Angela Rayner, said before the NEC meeting that Burnham should be allowed to run. Moreover, Labour Party history suggests that blatantly factional stitch-ups tend to backfire, with candidates who are deselected or barred from running emerging stronger than ever. Ultimately, there's a real risk that this decision ignites factional infighting within the Labour Party, with those on the left attempting to pressure the leadership into reversing the decision. Moreover, if Labour end up losing the Gorton and Denton by-election without Burnham as their candidate, it will look like the NEC has chosen to put Starmer before party before country, exacerbating perceptions that Labour is self-interested and out of touch. Starmer may have avoided a potential Burnham coup in a couple of months' time, but it might have come at the cost of even more pressure on his leadership in the near term. Now, if you've stuck around this long, chances are you're passionate about learning and bettering yourself through knowledge, just like us. You're obviously a thinker, and Brilliant is the perfect learning platform to unlock your potential. That's because Brilliant pushes you to excel in maths and computer science, with visual, interactive problem solving and personalised practice. Their website and app is designed to be highly effective, offering the perfect mix of interactive problems, motivating challenges, and encouragement to keep you moving forwards. Here, you can build genuine understanding and reach serious learning goals. On Brilliant, you'll click with concepts you used to struggle with. Their ever-expanding libraries cover everything from timeless topics in maths and science to cutting-edge concepts in AI, quantum, and beyond. Wherever you are on your learning journey, Brilliant will start you at the perfect level to grow and achieve goals at your own pace, with each course being crafted by an award-winning team of teachers, researchers, and professionals from MIT, Harvard, Stanford, Caltech, Google, and more. So, if you want to start learning with confidence and become an even better problem solver, you can try Brilliant for free for a full 30 days. Just go to brilliant.org/TLDR, scan the QR code on screen, or you can click the link in the description. Brilliant's also giving our viewers 20% off an annual premium subscription, which gives you unlimited daily access to everything on Brilliant.